Hello and welcome to the virtual debate, Business Digital Transformation. The need for a business case is long dead, long live the business case. My name is Jason Fraumano-Braddy and I'm the IT Manager at Janome Australia and New Zealand, a role I've held for the last 8 years, and I'll be acting as the adjudicator on today's debate. Janome is the #1 sewing machine company in Australia and acts as a wholesaler to more than 200 dealers across Australia and New Zealand. My own skill set lies across IT and strategy, customer enablement, vendor relationships and infrastructure management. Over the last 15 plus years that I've been in IT, I've been responsible for initiating, writing and presenting various business cases to justify potential projects to business stakeholders. And I've also experienced firsthand the frustration of a missed opportunity when those same stakeholders couldn't come to an agreement in a timely manner. So with that background, let's turn our attention to the topic at hand, B2B digital transformation. For nearly all industries in 2020, the impact of COVID has meant that digital is the only business growth mechanism available. Yet, paralysis by analysis for digital over traditional sales channels risks putting many B2B businesses even further behind, arguing that when it comes to a B2B digital transformation, that the time for talking is over, a business case for digital transformation is no longer needed, so just take action, is Adrian Wakeham, Regional Manager, Australia and New Zealand at SmartOSC. Taking the opposite view, investing the time to build out a solid business case is still a necessary critical part of the B2B digital transformation process, is CMO and e-commerce marketing consultant, Mark Baartse. Now, everybody, before we begin, here are our ground rules. Our debate format will be one-on-one. Adrian and Mark, you'll each have up to 10 minutes to put your case forward. Please don't interrupt each other. With the digital format, the speakers will not cross-examine each other or rebut each other. We'll leave that to the audience to take that up with you one-on-one or offline afterwards. I'll ring a bell when there's 1 minute left in your allotted time, and being virtual, I'll mute you at the 10-minute mark if you haven't finished speaking. I'll be scoring you both out of 100 with up to 20 points for organisation and clarity, 40 points for your use of argument and 40 points for your presentation style. When you've both finished speaking, I'll provide my feedback and adjudicate a winner. To decide who will present, I'll flip a coin. Mark, your call.
I'm going to call heads, thank you, Jason.
It's tails. Adrian, you can speak first. Take your positions. Good luck to you both, and your time starts now.
Thank you very much. To set the scene, I'd like you to cast your mind back to the heady days of your 2019 company Christmas party. As you ate, drank and danced in cheer at the success of the year gone by, the mere concept of a global event that would stop your long-established and reliable sales channels in its tracks, make your fellow employees literally recoil in fear from each other, fighting neighbours in the supermarket for toilet paper of all things. That will be the stuff of nightmares, or the plot of a dystopian novel plucked from the airport bookstore to pass time when your flight home was delayed. Fast forward a few short months, and yet, here we are. As Jason mentioned, my name is Adrian, and I'm the Regional Manager for Australia and New Zealand with the International E-Commerce Development Agency and BigCommerce preferred partner, SmartOSC. Over the next few short minutes, I would like to put to you 3 key reasons why, in this brave new world we now exist in, that when it comes to digital transformation in a B2B business, the need for a business case is dead. Reason number 1. Nothing stops the growth of a business quicker than people that make decisions slowly. Reason number 2. In this time of uncertainty, the best way to predict your future is to create it. And reason number 3, the benefits of digital are proven beyond doubt. You simply do not need to make a business case for digital transformation anymore. Let's unpack these reasons a little further. Nothing stops the growth of a business quicker than people that make decisions slowly. Over the past few months, I've spoken to many CEOs, CIOs, business owners, and digital leaders, from billion-dollar revenue businesses to companies with tens of millions in revenue. The stories about the impact of COVID on their businesses are all similar. Core business operations conducted through physical channels are down 20% to 80%, and the digital channel is up 20%, 80%, and in some cases by as much as 500%. Now, this impact was across nearly all industries, from restaurant chains to retailers, healthcare companies to manufacturing. And yet, this was still resulting in an overall decrease in total revenue. Why? Because the traditional sales channels were in most cases far larger, and the existing e-commerce operation, if it even existed in the first place, was not able to make up the difference. In an environment where physical transactions were in many cases simply not able to happen, reps' mobile phones and call centres were simply overwhelmed. Digital became the only lifeline to the customer and the only growth engine that that business has today. In the words of the late great AFL football coach John Kennedy Sr., do something, don't think, don't hope, do. Now, the trickiest part of digital transformation projects for many companies, especially in the B2B area, is the actual internal sign-off when multiple internal stakeholders get involved in the decision. A culture of collaboration and efficiency does not come naturally to many B2B organisations. C-suite leaders have their own competing and sometimes opposing priorities, and when asked for their opinion on if digital is worth considering, they'll often view it through the lens of, well, this will be a distraction when they have KPIs to hit. Changing up that message to say that a digital transformation is commencing, which will solve the day-to-day operational snags and fulfill long-term ambitions, now that creates a vision that those same C-suite leaders can get behind, and their mindset will turn from what problems this can fix in their department rather than if it can. On to reason number 2. In this time of uncertainty, the best way to predict your future is to create it. Now, we're not at the other side of COVID yet, but the questions that come to mind for business leaders are, what does the future hold? Will this e-commerce thing remain this high or drop off again? Will remote engagement with customers become the new normal? And the 800-pound gorilla in the room? What happens if my previous physical channels do not recover soon or at all? Now, you might believe the worst is behind your business, or that most people will go back to physical interactions again as soon as they can. You might be right, but it doesn't really matter. In every scenario, your business would be better off if it had strong capabilities in digital. Now, the perfect outcome here would be the benefit from a rebound in traditional channels and taking advantage of digital. The data's been there for a long time to support this. The 2019 ASEAN Unified Commerce Index showed that. Globally, the impact of omnichannel retail is even higher, with those who shop across multiple channels spending 30% more per purchase. Now, those B2C customers who prefer multiple sales channels in their path to purchase journey are the same people responsible for procuring your products. And is it possible that the only reason why you have not observed your customers purchasing in that way is because you've never offered them the chance to do so? Even if there isn't a rebound in traditional channels, your total revenue is still better off by having a strong digital channel. My point is simple. The time for making a case for digital has passed. Which brings me to reason number 3. The benefits of digital are proven beyond doubt. You simply do not need to make a business case for digital transformation anymore. In many industries, it actually passed a long time ago, but has now caught up, even to those companies and industries that seem to have the least to gain from going digital. Now, to be clear, I'm not advocating for doing this without having a project plan or mapping out your requirements in detail before kicking off a project. What I am saying is that when you're already behind the 8 ball, and according to Gartner, B2B buying has changed and your sales strategy must too. A new understanding of the B2B buying process is needed. Sales leaders often attribute this lack of customer access to a failure on the part of sellers to deliver enough value as part of a typical sales interaction. However, in studying ways to address this access challenge, Gartner research found a different reality altogether. The problem is rooted far less in the rep's struggles to sell and far more in the customer's struggles to buy. Sellers have little opportunity to influence customer decisions. The ready availability of quality information through digital channels has made it far easier for buyers to gather information independently, meaning sellers have less access and fewer opportunities to influence customer decisions. And the B2B buying journey is hard. The average B2B buyers group size is 6 to 10 people. 20% of the decision makers change their roles every year, and 58% of decisions are made outside of the C-suite. So by the time you do all the legwork and write up, present, debate, and approve to multiple internal stakeholders, the strategic case, the economic case, the commercial case, the financial case, and the management case, another year's gone by, one or two of the decision makers have likely left the company, so you have to start again. And by now, your best customers have taken their business to your more digitally innovative, agile, and easier to buy from competitor. So if you're already one of those experiencing a significant downturn due to COVID, you will not survive. So, in closing, please remember that nothing stops the growth of a business quicker than people that make decisions slowly, like wasting time on a business case for a well-proven strategy. In this time of uncertainty, the best way to predict your future is to create it. Increasing or adding strong digital capability maximizes your impact in all scenarios that may involve a resurgence of physical and improve with the power of digital. You simply do not need to make a business case for digital anymore. You need to take action. Your competitors likely already have. And that is why I say when it comes to B2B digital transformation, the need for a business case is dead. Thank you very much. I've been Adrian from SmartOSC.
Yeah, that was great. Mark, well, your time starts now.
Thank you, Jason, and thank you for your thoughts, Adrian. In 2013, the UK government auctioned off access to the 4G spectrum. A number of companies bid for that. One of them was, of course, Vodafone, who paid £790 million. That's more than £750 million. More than £750 million. They needed to do that or be out of business. Can you imagine signing up to a telco that doesn't have 4G access? It doesn't happen. It was essential to the survival of their business. Did they have a business case? They did. I know people who worked on that business case. And you know what? The business case wasn't actually that great. It basically said one thing: not doing this is an existential threat. But by doing it, they still had that informed decision. No one's disputing that digital transformation needs to happen. That's, you know, as Adrian has well pointed out, that's well established. But there's many reasons for doing a business case. A few days ago, my son had his birthday last week, and he's flush with birthday money. He went and spent his money on a board game. Did he need a business case of that? No, he didn't. And why is that? It's a hobby. You don't need a business case for a hobby. But look at BizBoard's business case. It's for a business. We're here as a business to make money. Things that have significant repercussions on a business need a business case. I'm just going to talk about a few points about this to help explain my thinking. So first of all, it helps you create the right size for your investment and justify it. So for a very small number of companies, it might be right that you can set up some sort of portal on a Squarespace e-commerce site, which costs $29 a month. Although I was listening to a podcast this morning that had a discount code for 3 months free. So if you want access to that, let me know. Now, if that's what you're after, then great. But that's probably not the audience we're speaking to today. On the other hand, you could probably go to IBM, and IBM will come up with some incredible rationale, and it will end up costing you $100 million. And it'll be horribly over-engineered and probably delivered late and not very good. Now, the chances are that if you're listening to this, your need is probably somewhere in the middle, somewhere between $29 and $100 million. The question is, where are you on that line? And there's a lot of variations on there. And a business case helps you figure out where you should be. What is the right size investment for you? I mean, the other option is you can just barge in with checkbooks blazing with no business case and just spend whatever you feel like. You know, your business case, you can report on how you're feeling about it today. Most businesses I work in, that doesn't go very far. Secondly, a business case makes you think it through. It helps you to plan. So yeah, if you can do the $29 Squarespace thing and you can run it in an hour a week, great, go ahead. No business case needed for that. That's easy. But however, that's probably not the case. Digital transformation, it's not a project, it's an ongoing commitment. It's something that changes the nature of your business and how you run the business. There's lots of different teams to rally around. You know, you need to deal with operations, you need to do with IT, you need to do with marketing, with customer support, with sales, with whoever it is. There's not a section of your business which is going to be unaffected by this. And then let's not even talk about the costs, you know, the extra staff needed, the retraining, you know, the maintenance costs, the marketing, the ongoing IT expenses, all those sorts of things. Companies thrive on structure and predictability. And if you go ahead with a just do it approach, it just ignores all these things. It says, we don't care about operations. We don't care about customer support. You know, we don't need buy-in from most people. Sure, it needs to go ahead, but you need to do it in the right way. Now, you could also talk about, the company, this slows us down. Here's news for you. If your company lacks agility, don't blame the business case, blame your company culture. The business case is not for corporate, it's a symptom. Last of all, the business case helps you get internal support. Now, most digital transformation projects are expensive. Hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions. These are not unusual numbers for digital transformation projects. And I don't know about what sort of companies you're working in, but the sort of companies I work in, if you're spending millions of dollars, you need to get sign off from the board. Now, I, for one, am not prepared to walk into a board meeting and say, look, I've got this great thing. I'm not sure how much it's going to cost. Could be a couple of million, might not be, don't really know, not really sure how it's going to change the company. If you want to do that in front of a board, in the board meeting, good luck to you. That's not personally how I conduct business. And that's not how any boards I have worked with conduct business. They want to see a clear business case. They want to know how much it's going to cost. They want to know how much they're going to get back. They want to know the risks. They want to know the opportunities. They want to know all those things. That is what boards do. It is their job to ask those questions. Without a business case, you have no answers and you'll be laughed out of a room and lucky to keep your job. It's also a rallying point. It's something you can share internally. You can talk about this with other departments. You know, when you're talking to operations, when you're talking to IT, when you're talking to marketing, whoever the teams are, you can say, look, here's the business case. This is why we're doing it. And the business case will probably say, this is what happens if we don't do it. And that's really important as well, because again, no one's denying that digital transformation is a critical activity for the vast majority of companies. You can show this to your stakeholders. You can even use it as a foundation for talking. I'm not going to necessarily show a business case to a vendor, but you can use it as a foundation. You can use extracts and show that to vendors and help brief them. So in summary, if you want to fly by the seat of your pants, if you want to proceed with a project that may be over-engineered, maybe under-engineered, may not be fit for purpose, probably won't get signed off by the board, great, go ahead without a business case. If you want to maximize the chance of success, if you want to have a sustainable, profitable business case all the way. Thank you.
Well, thank you very, very much. That was great. So can now make my adjudication. Adrian, I really liked your impassioned arguments. The fact that, you know, every single business that I know of has been impacted quite significantly by COVID, and that, as you were saying, digital's pretty much the only way to go, really does highlight the fact that we do kind of need to do this now. Mark, your point about Vodafone and their ability to make a business case, it pretty much just said, we have to do this now, and the resources that went into that. You know, they still have to do it. You know, €750 million, a lot of money. Then also the ability to work out, you know, the business cases allow us to work out, do we want to spend $29 a month, or do we want to spend $100 million a month? And that's kind of a really important thing to work out where your business is sitting with their spend on that. So with that, and without further ado, I will go through. For the negative, Mark, organisation and clarity, I gave you 18 points. For the use of argument, I gave you 32 points. For presentation style, I gave you 32 points as well. Adrian. For organisation and clarity, I gave you 18 points. For the use of argument, I gave you 35 points. For presentation and style, I gave you 35 points. That means that there is a 6-point difference with Adrian winning. So, yes. Yes.
Thank you, Mark. Very well argued.
Thank you, Adrian.
So, if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to Adrian or Mark with your comments, feedback, or any other burning questions regarding B2B digital transformation. And with that, it brings us to the end of our time today. And thank you very much, and bye for now.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Adrian.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, everyone.